And welcome everyone to Wisconsin State League season finale for Sheboygan as they take on the Burlington Barons in this Tuesday night game. I'm Charlie Heim, joined by Mike Martin on commentary. We do have our usual A-team in the press box, alongside with Lucas Schulze, CJ Skelton, and Bill Wagner. Jared Riclitis will be on the mound for Sheboygan, going up against this Burlington Barons order. Going through that order, 1 to 9, Ryan Lesnick will be leading off. Nick Eid is in center field batting second. Joe Zuliger. Then Paul Archambault was the DH on the day and the cleanup hitter. E.J. Custer will be batting fifth, followed by Calvin Hancock, River Lindsay, Tyler Newman, and Connor Kelly. He'll be pitching the game for Burlington will be Steve Clayheeg. Meanwhile, the defensive rotation for Sheboygan over on first base is Jacob Neese. At second, we have Riley Palmquist. Shortstop is Luke Smock. And third base, the always reliable Harry Stout will be manning the hot corner. Meanwhile, in the outfield, Bennett Becker in left, Gus Walker still working on a perfect season, I believe, in terms of attendance. It looks like he actually I'm just double checking. I believe he's played in every game. Yes, he has. So still keeping that Ironman streak alive. Meanwhile, in right field will be Brady Zackerson. Behind the plate is Justin Schnell. And as I mentioned, Jared Riclitis will be on the mound. As I also mentioned, this is the season finale for the Wisconsin State League. And I believe you have a little bit, Mike, about how the whole tournament will, how the league standings will end up going at the end.
Well, the Wisconsin State League stepladder state tournament qualifier is next week, and Sheboygan will have a home game. Whether we're the home team or not has to be determined, and who our opponent will be. But the state tournament is held up in Marinette, and it starts next weekend. I believe it's on a Saturday. So stepladder tournament is next week. And we look forward to bringing you that.
Of course, the season winding down for Sheboygan. Today, the Wisconsin State League season finale. On Thursday, the Northeastern Wisconsin League final game against Kewaskum.
That'll be a big game, Charlie, because Kewaskum is currently in first place in the league, but if everything pans out right, they could finish tie or even in second place. So they're going to want to win that game against us. If they win it, they're the champs. You can't be denied.
So very important games up there as Jared Riclitis gets the first out on only 3 pitches, striking out Ryan Lesnick, as now Nick Eid will be coming up to bat. Sheboygan currently in the Wisconsin State League, 14-15. Burlington 7-21.
It's been a tough season for Burlington. They've had trouble mustering up enough players to play all their games, and when you don't have a whole lot of success, those are the kinds of things that happen.
And another 3-pitch strikeout for Jared Riclitis, starting off his game very strong. In yesterday's game, we did see another 2 strikeouts to start off the game from Brad Reinflesch. Brad did have a very good game in yesterday's performance against the Menasha Max. Jared Riclitis hoping to follow suit. He pitches now to Zuliger, and Zuliger swinging through that one. And Riclitis still working well early on in this game. A good sign of things to come. And the bid for the immaculate inning is over as Smock fields it over at short, and will still get the 1-2-3 inning to end off that first. And Jared Riclitis very efficient in it as Sheboygan is ready to come up to bat.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier factory authorized dealer.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
And ready to begin the bottom of the second, Steve Claheeg on the mound for Burlington to face off against the Sheboygan lineup. Going through them 1 to 9, Luke Smock will be leading off, followed by Harry Stelt and Brady Zackerson. Jacob Neese is your Northwoods cleanup hitter, followed by Jimmy Jurgensen, Bennett Becker, Justin Schnell, Riley Palmquist, and Gus Walker. Jimmy Jurgensen is taking DH duties on today's game. Going over the defensive rotation for Burlington, over on first base we have Joe Zuliger. Ryan Lesnick is at second, River Lindsay at short, and E.J. Custer over at third. For the outfield, Tyler Newman in left, Nick Aid in center, and Connor Kelly over in right. While Calvin Hancock will be behind the mound for Steve Claheeg as Luke Smock comes up to bat.
And talking about the Wisconsin State League standings, tonight is Sheboygan's last game. Charlie mentioned that at the beginning of the broadcast. It'll be their 30th game. If they win it, they'll finish 15-15. But for the top spot, the West Dallas Nationals lead it currently 20-7. But just 2 games behind them with 3 to play are the Lombard Orioles. They're 18-9. So league champion has not been determined yet. It'll be a little later this week, I would imagine. Kenosha Kings are 14-13. Green Bay Blue Ribbons are 14-14, and then Sheboygan. And then Addison Braves are 9-17, and the Burlington Barons having a real tough year, 7-21. So Sheboygan trying to finish 500. They haven't done real great in either league this season.
Sheboygan has done very well in the non-league games that they've had throughout the year, but just in league games they've struggled a little bit, just getting to their first time over 500 in the Northeastern League in yesterday's game, hoping to reach 500 for the year with a win in this one, as Luke Smock is quickly down to an 0-2 count.
On the season, Sheboygan is 32-22, and it's at 592 is their winning percentage.
Smock watches one high, and with that 592, it does sound pretty good, but you look at those league standings, and you're just barely creaking over 500, or you're at 500. So Sheboygan, just the games where it hasn't mattered for tournament stuff has been big, as Smock lines that one to right. Slide will drop. Luke Smock is on board with a leadoff single. Nice job working back from an 0-2 count for the Indiana native.
Connor Kelly making a good effort out in right field. Did a good job of keeping it in front of him. That could have easily been extra bases.
It's now a Harry Stelt ready to come up to the plate. Had a very good game in yesterday's performance. Started off his game strong with a home run in the first inning, and continued to have a great game through there as well. So watch the first one up for a ball. Stout does quickly draw the 1-0 pitch. Harry was 3 for 4 in that game yesterday.
In yesterday's game, Harry had a home run, and so did Ian Mary. And Mary did warm-ups before the game, but he's not in the starting lineup. Charlie, what do you got to do to be in the lineup? Right, hit a 2-run homer, or hit a home run. That's not good enough.
Mary really has been a big piece of this team of late, as Harry is unable to check his swing on that one. Mary's still a reliable piece off the bench, should it be needed. Sheboygan a decent bench on their hand today. We're a little bit thin on the bench in yesterday's performance. It was still enough to work through things. The Smock takes off and will reach second on the hit and run attempt, as Harry is thrown out at first, but still does move the speedy Luke Smock over to second base to bring up Brady Zackerson. Brady really has been he has been the best hitter on the team as a whole, a .351 average coming into yesterday's game. He's done very well throughout. .351, .446 on base, and a .534 slugging. Gets him just under a base per plate appearance.
Brady was 1 for 3 yesterday with a double.
Hoping for nice RBI to knock onto his belt. They watch the runner over at second, and outside corner on that one.
Yeah, River Lindsay trying to cut behind Smock and keep him closer to the base.
Smock, don't believe we've seen him try to steal third as yet on the season, as he takes off right away still on the stolen base attempt, but it is grounded over to the second baseman Lesnick, and Luke Smock advances on 2 hit and runs that do end up in outs, as Jacob Neese ready to come up to the plate. Neese has really shown especially a big power stroke as of recent. Hit a home run not too long ago, and also hit one in batting practice in today's game. I believe his last swing of the batting practice before today. Knocked one over the fence.
Jacob hitting a little better this year than he did last year. He's having a nice season.
Coming into yesterday's game, with a .260 average, .348 on base, and .410 slugging, with a team tied for team leading, 4 home runs as he swings through that one. That was in.
Clayheag with a good fastball there, able to sneak it by Jacob.
Neese with Smock on third. And a nice job of fouling one off. Anything that Neese reaches on, aside from a walk, any hit that Neese reaches on, I should probably say it a little bit better, will score Smock.
Knights of Columbus night here at the ballpark. They brought a nice contingent of fans. Got a nice crowd. Not too late to come out to the ballpark.
And Neese just barely able to hold up on that close pitch. Does end up going for a ball.
Game time temperature 79 degrees. Hazy skies again tonight. And a gentle breeze blowing out towards left.
That breeze out towards left field, something that could help Neese's power, but not going to be able to show it off in that bat as he goes down swinging. So Sheboygan, despite getting a lead-off single, is not able to capitalize. And we go into the top of the second, still scoreless.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude.
Burlington's DH Paul Archambault has a tough task going up against Jared Reclitus to start off the second inning. Reclitus, just as you would expect from him, having a fantastic year on the mound, a 1.29 ERA coming into this game with a 0.84 whip, 75 strikeouts to just 4 walks, and all that in just under 49 innings. And he'll continue to get that streak even higher with an easy ground out to second base.
Back in early July, July 8th, we played a doubleheader at Burlington. We lost the first game 6-4, but did win the second one 8-7. We got this game coming up now, and don't see on the schedule where, oh, there we go. Another doubleheader on the 9th. We swept them on Sunday. So we've won 3 out of 4, looking to go 4 out of 5 with a win tonight.
And with Jared Reclitus, that is something that you do see pretty often. 6-1 on the year, with 3 of those 6 wins being in shutout fashion, complete game shutout fashion for Reclitus. It does quickly work down to a 3-0 count onto the Burlington third baseman E.J. Custer.
Brad Reinflesch with his win last night tied Jared for wins on the season from the pitching staff. They each have 6. Of course, Reclitus looking to get his 7th win tonight.
It's a pretty easy ground ball and flips it over to Neese to get out number 2 as Calvin Hancock will come up to the plate for Burlington. So far, Sheboygan working pretty well on the mound with Reclitus. Defense has also pitched in their own part, with Reclitus doing a little bit of that work himself as he first throws one in for a strike. Defense for Sheboygan this year has at times been an issue, but last game, no errors, so defense really starting to come to their own as of recent.
Those you get 16 strikeouts, you don't get a whole lot of chances. That helped too. Of course, as a pitcher, if your defense isn't very good, what do? Strike everybody out, right?
Something that both Reinflesch and Reclitus can do very well. Reclitus just with 1 strikeout, or with 2 strikeouts in this game so far, I should say. Hoping to work on number 3 as gets it to a 2-2 count to Burlington's catcher. And does succeed in getting yet another strikeout. Strike 3 down on Calvin Hancock. And that brings us to the bottom of the second with Sheboygan coming up.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support organizations like Hope House Mission and New Hope Shelter that give people around here warmth, shelter, and care.
Me spells the great taste of Sheboygan.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot. Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 4, Tea Time.
What are you, having tea with the queen? Hello. Nice.
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
And coming on into the bottom of the second, Jimmy Jurgensen set to lead things off for Sheboygan. Sheboygan held pretty closely in check for that first inning, and that is something that they're hoping to end with this second one. Jimmy Jurgensen, a good man to do that. Jimmy hitting .291 on the year, 374 on base and 453 slugging. Has been all around able and very effective in getting on base and being able to make every plate appearance count.
Our next live stream is going to be on July 27th. It's a 7:30 game against Kewaskum. That'll be the final game in the Northeastern Wisconsin League. Season winding down.
Just this one, the game on Thursday, as well as 2 sets of doubleheaders on the weekend, as well as the game in the stepladder tournament, which still is yet to be determined as to when that is. As the strong lefty sets in and will foul one off to start his at bat. Jimmy, 4 home runs on the year for him, as well as 12 doubles. Very well getting the ball flown out deep. Not do it that time, as a nice leaping grab by Lindsay over at short will get Jurgensen out. Some strong defense from Burlington to rob a hit away.
Boy, as a hitter, you hate that. You know, you hit the ball fairly nice. It looks like it's going to be a base hit, and then the defender robs you of a base hit.
One of those hits that you're always content with. A nice looping liner into the outfield, but Lindsay had a nice leap on it, figuratively and literally, is able to stop the hit from going through, as Bennett Becker will be coming in. Becker spent some time on as kind of the number 1 man off the bench while we still had Carson Hansen with the team, but has now taken back his spot as the everyday left fielder for Sheboygan and has done well with the role. So he does quickly get into a 2-1 count. Looks like Hancock trying to figure out exactly where that one was a ball. And the 2-1 pitch will be checked and swung through by Becker, not able to hold back on that one.
He's got one left. Make use of it.
Now another high pitch. A couple of these very close to the, at least from our vantage point, it's pretty close to the zone. Maybe where he's standing, it's not quite as...
Yeah, you get a better look at it down there on the field for sure.
And we'll watch that one in for a walk. Becker doing a pretty good job at drawing those free bases. I'm sure he's glad to get that one off of the walk rather than the hit by pitch. Did see him get hit in the last game. So now Justin Schnell will be coming up for Sheboygan.
Bennett is definitely a base stealing threat. It'll be interesting to see how Tim Moyer handles this. If he's going to send him or not.
Becker with 4 stolen bases on the year. Someone who is very much capable of doing that. Sheboygan, a pretty fast team overall. Most of the lineup is capable base stealers. Justin Schnell, even for the catcher position, has some speed out there. Don't believe he has stolen any bases, but Tries to lay down a sacrifice bunt, but pushes it too far foul.
Some of the guys that have not been hitting very well, Justin Schnell and Gus Walker, to name a few, have been trying to bunt to get on base and get some base hits, get that batting average up, and haven't had too many bunt base hits this year.
I believe Gus Walker has had a few, but this one also potentially able to move someone in, as Schnell does hit one pretty hard, but it will go foul. Sounded nice off the bat and could have been looking at a home run if it was straightened out. Instead, just goes foul. Becker on first still has not taken off. And the 0-2 counts. Some signs going by from Tim Moyer over on third base. And Schnell sets in for another 0-2 pitch. And Becker taking off, and a nice throw is not going to be in time. The throw, I think, did get there around in time, but was too high. Becker able to slide in under the tag.
Bennett had a great jump, too. It would have taken an excellent throw. The catcher got rid of it okay, but the big jump by Bennett allowed him to steal that base.
And Schnell will look at one that he thought was a bit inside. Will punch him out to bring up Riley Palmquist.
Now Palmquist's stats are up to date, Charlie.
Very
he didn't play
interesting year
last
for
night.
Palmquist on this one. A 180 coming into yesterday's game, 188 average, but with, I believe, 3 home runs in that stretch. Has been making each hit count.
Well, let's hopefully he can get a hit here and drive in a run.
Just watched one high. Riley Palmquist has been someone who is just a very reliable defender as well. That is something that we mentioned those, some people who have struggled with hitting, Justin Schnell, Gus Walker, they have been very good in the field. Riley Palmquist, another one in that slot, has been very good in that middle infield. Was our shortstop for a long time. Right now have Luke Smock playing at short. Saw Jack Council take some starts over at short as well.
He moved around when he was here. I would say probably played mostly short, but he was also out in center a little bit in left field. Hansen, when he was around, did most of his work out in left. Miss those two guys. They're good players.
Were very strong on the year. Both of them hitting over 300. Jack Council just barely under 400. Of course, did move up to the Northwoods League to play for the Chinooks in the middle of the season.
They got 341 and 340. Yeah,
look at
for
the on-base
batting
percentage.
average.
Riley, nice job drawing a 3-1 count to work on this at-bat. And that one solidly hit, but right over to the center fielder, Aide, who will catch it. No problemo. And that will get Sheboygan out of this inning. No score on this one, as Burlington ready to lead off with the 7-hitter, River Lindsay.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
Top of the third, ready to go. still no score and a very quiet offensive game for both sides. Just one hit so far in these first 2 innings for both teams combined. That one being the first at-bat of the bottom of the first inning. Luke Smock with a nice hit out to right field. Now River Lindsay, who had a nice leaping grab last inning, will be up to bat. Lindsay, a lefty in the lineup for Burlington, will foul the first pitch back. Clytus has been with the team for quite some time and has been very good in his time with Sheboygan. Clytus, a Sheboygan native himself. He's 26 to begin the year. And that one grounded up the middle. Palmquist will field it on a few hops and is not able to make the transfer well. Not going to be able to make it happen. And reaching on the air is River Lindsay. That's just one of those plays where sometimes even just the easiest plays can seem a little bit difficult. Riley Palmquist not able to get the ball out of his glove. Ends up resulting in the first base runner for Burlington.
Sheboygan, like you mentioned, played a clean game last night, and not tonight with the error, but hopefully we can limit it to just one error in the ball game.
Sheboygan, of course, started off the year very rough on the defensive end, but has cleaned it up a lot in the month of July. 91 errors on the season now, with a lot of the rate of that as a nice dive and grab, and he'll redeem himself with that one. Riley Palmquist answers back with a nice dive and grab to take out Tyler Newman for the first out of the third.
Great play by Riley. No problem with the transfer that time. Made the diving stop and able to get it to his throwing hand. It's another case, Charlie, where here you think you got a base hit and the defense robs you.
Something you got to love about baseball, how sometimes the easiest plays can be the most difficult, and those difficult plays, no problem whatsoever. So Riley Palmquist made a nice transfer. That one a nice dive to get the first out of the inning as Connor Kelly will come up for Burlington as he watching the first pitch for a ball. Runner over on second is River Lindsay.
Wind is blowing out a little bit more than it was when we started the ball game. Pretty briskly out towards center.
That one a pretty hard grounder. Smock going to grab it on a few hops, and a nice throw over to first will get the second out of the inning to bring up Ryan Lesnick over at second base for Burlington.
The way the season has gone with our defense, it seems like, at least for me, every time there's a ball hit to the infielders, I'm thinking, oh, no, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, make a nice throw. You know, you're just kind of waiting for another error. Nice to see those last two ground balls get played nicely for outs.
First one to Lesnick is thrown outside. And a lot of times you won't really see too much in terms of a discrepancy between earned runs and runs given up. But just over half of Clytus' runs that he's given up, as that one is skied into right and caught by Zackerson. So not going to add to that list of unearned runs on his record. No runs given up on the one error, and Sheboygan hoping to answer with some offense of their own.
Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract, brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow, raised by generations willing to sip, share, risk, remember. This is a story bigger than beer. This is the story of the American spirit.
All right, guys, we got teriyaki, honey barbecue, and mild. Enjoy. All right, DOA wings, hottest on the menu.
You got a problem?
Gus Walker ready to lead things off for Sheboygan for his first at-bat of the day. Walker, someone who has been reliable on the team, has shown up to every single game of the season up to this point and has done a very good job in the field as well. 95% fielding on 144 total chances in the field.
I want to give our viewers a heads up. In the 5th inning, Denny Moyer is going to come up to the press box, and I'll be interviewing him. He'll talk about a little bit about the current state of the team, so got that to look forward to. That'll happen in the 5th inning.
Gus Walker settling in at a pretty good game yesterday. He will start off his day today. First pitch swinging, and we'll get yet another single on his docket, hoping to get a couple more bases with that speed. Burlington's going to have to keep him close.
We mentioned about Gus's base stealing. Here's an excellent opportunity to maybe have him go early in the count, get into scoring position for Smock. Let's see how Tim Moyer plays it.
Smock just beginning his Sheboygan Ace career in the last week. Started in a little road trip through the middle of the week.
I think we got him appearing in his 8th game tonight.
Smock has shown off a decent bit of speed as Gus Walker also showing off the speed, taking off for second. And the throw high outside and not in time. Gus Walker in with the stolen base.
Good job of taking that pitch by Luke Smock. Give Walker an opportunity to steal a base. Now he's got an RBI opportunity. Smock does.
Smock does have a few RBIs on the year, but always looking to get that number just a little bit higher. And with a speedy runner like Gus over on second, it's definitely something that he can try to do. As he quickly gets it to a 2-1 count. Smock and Walker both very speedy for 6'1" guys. Able to really take advantage of the base passes. One on the high and inside corner. Smock, don't think was the biggest fan of that call, but going to keep his cool. As he's now evened up at a 2-2 count. And that one just clipping the outside corner. Luke Smock goes down looking for strikeout number 3 for Steve Clayheeg. It's now Harry Stout in a situation that he loves to see. Runner on a second, especially a speedy runner that Harry can really thrive off of. I believe 2 RBIs in yesterday's game for 30 and 31 on the year. As Gus Walker takes off for third right away. Nice throw, but it does miss. Gus Walker hesitating a little bit on the slide and ends up scoring off of the error by Calvin Hancock, and Gus Walker speed leading to the run thanks to the error.
Somebody in the ballpark's going to get a Butterburger. Don't forget that, CJ.
Gus Walker credited with a stolen base as well, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Would have been a little bit close on the play, but not enough where you could say that it was only because of the error that he reaches. And, of course, scoring off of the error does mean it is unearned for Clay Heeg. Harry will quickly draw a 3-0, now with no one on the base paths. So while it does remove Harry's possibility for an RBI, I think he'd still be happy with a run on the board and drawing into a 3-1 count.
Gus Walker is really a weapon on the bases. It's nice to get him on with nobody in front of him so he can do what he just got done doing.
And Harry will get on to first, taking a walk. Something that he has done very well the entire season. A .485 on base percentage, 43 walks on the year for the third baseman, 12th year veteran with Sheboygan. He's Brady Zackerson now coming up with the runner on first. Harry, not someone that you really see steal. Has been utilized in double steals before. Helps him 2-3 on the year.
Harry definitely picks his spots. Good fastball, but Brady able to fight it off.
Harry, a very smart base runner out there. Knows when to go, when not to go. And, of course, some good instruction by our base coaches. Tim Moyer over on third and Davis Wilson over on first base, the former player.
He's been a regular over there. We're at first base.
Where he swings through that one. Wilson retired in his career as a player. Had a big injury, I believe arm injury, if I'm not mistaken. So now still helping coach the team, favorite among the clubhouse. And that one, Harry will not move it. Nice job blocking by Hancock.
Yeah, that was a very nice play. Kept the ball in front of him. It's too bad, too. Nice to get Harry down at second base in scoring position.
Now 2-2 count to Zackerson. And he does not hold up his swing. Will strike out as the second one of this inning as Jacob Neese now ready to come up. Jacob Neese, the Northwoods cleanup hitter.
4 strikeouts now for Clay Heeg.
Clay Heeg has done a pretty good job in this game to hold Sheboygan's offense down, as that one will be popped up and will be called off and caught by Lesnick to end off the inning. But Sheboygan does take advantage of some speed by Gus Walker and an errant throw in order to score the first run of the game, going into the top of the fourth with a 1-0 lead.
Estimated hold time is now less than 96 minutes. We thank you for your patience.
sorry. Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
The estimated.
And coming into the top of the fourth, Nick Aid ready to start things off for Burlington, the home run leader for the Barons. Tied on the year. Of course, we do have a lot of stats for the A's home team. We do have the benefit of those stats. So it can be a little bit difficult depending on the team to get some stats for other teams. But Burlington, we do at least know the home run leader in Nick Aid.
You know what else it depends on, Charlie? Their announcers getting off their butt in the afternoon and looking on the internet for it.
I mean, before the game, I have our own stats, and
The first thing is, number one, they're hard to find. Number two, if you do find them, they're rarely up to date.
Yeah.
They're always old. But we were able to find a little information about Aid.
He gets a big swing through that one. And up here, we do have our stats. Usually they're up to date. In a back-to-back day, we might not have, updated for the previous day.
Tim Meyer does a really good job. You think about throughout the season, how many times haven't we come up here and the stuff is just waiting on the table for us, and it's not just batting averages and pitching stats. It's team-by-team records and the season schedule and how we've done in each of those games. It's very complete.
Of course, very good to have these stats ready as Aid does reach with a single. No hit bid over for Reclitus. Did go around once to the order without a hit. It's now Joe Zuliger. Ready to come up, the first baseman for Burlington. We'll watch a pitch low. Reclitus, you always know that you have someone who's a very good pitcher when they can have a sub 1.5 ERA and still call that a down year from recent. Had a 0.74 ERA last year? 7.5? 4.5. 0.45 ERA.
Broke a 50-year record with that performance last year. The previous record holder was Rick Rice. Played back in the 60s.
So Gladys, a top-tier pitcher in whatever league that Sheboygan plays in. As Zuliger does bounce back from the foul ball off of his leg.
Well, I think he thought he had a pitch to hit on that last one, and all he could do was foul it off. Don't give him that pitch again.
It's now a 1-2 count to Zuliger. And that one inside. Aid over on first base, taking a decent lead. But Sheboygan, I think, just trusting in the strength of Justin Schnell's arm. He has been very good behind the plate. I believe 5 catcher assists as that one is hit deep. Gus Walker trailing back, and that one will hit up against the wall. It will be an RBI scoring double. And all of a sudden, Burlington has tied things up with a very strong hit to opposite field by Joe Zuliger.
Nick Aid did a great job of running the bases, too. He went to second. As soon as he saw it was not going to be caught, then he took off again and was able to scamper home without a play being made on him. Nice base running by Aid.
I believe he was taking off on a hit and run on that pitch as well. Don't believe it would have been a close play regardless at the plate. Aid with some good speed as expected of a center fielder. As now Paul Archambault is ready to hit for Burlington. He watches one for a 1-1 count.
Not a good start of the inning for Sheboygan with a couple of base hits and a run scored already.
But not too much effort being made to hold the runner over at second.
Zuliger, a big guy, doesn't look like a real fast runner. Shows Barron's first baseman.
Now the 1-2 is able to get the out on Paul Archambault, and Sheboygan is ready with their first out of the inning as E.J. Custer is ready to begin his at-bat for Burlington. Custer grounded it right up the middle, not too hard, and it was easily able to be retired by Reclitus.
Custer spells his last name with a K, not a C. If you're thinking about George Armstrong Custer. But EJ starts it with a K.
One as he swings through that one. Some hearty swings from this Burlington Barons lineup worked out for Zuliger. He did get that nice RBI double. Now 0-2 count, and Custer swings through that one for out number 2, and Reclitus suddenly does have a good position with Calvin Hancock coming up with 2 outs.
Fifth strikeout by Jared, looking to limit the damage.
So Reclitus just his 8th earned run on the year with that one previous. He'll keep working down on this Burlington lineup. Hancock struck out in his last appearance. And is quickly off to a similar start with an 0-2 count. Reclitus a very nice bounce back following that double.
That was only the 8th run of the season given up by Jared.
Check swing, Schnell not going to appeal, which didn't look close on that one. So Hancock does get the first ball. Reclitus still with a lot to work with. And we'll keep teasing that outside corner, trying not to give the catcher anything to hit.
See what Justin Schnell calls on this 2-2 count. Trying to get the last out.
And that one will be in there. Strikeout looking. And Jared Reclitus ends the inning off with 3 strikeouts, but Burlington was able to come on top. 2 hits leads to an RBI, and now the score is tied as we head into the bottom of the 4th, 1-1.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier Factory authorized dealer.
Bottom of the fourth action here at Wildwood Park. 1-1 score. And those innings coming in both of the last frames for each team. Sheboygan able to get a run off of a single, 2 stolen bases, and a throwing error. Meanwhile, Burlington able to score off of a single and then a double that was cracked into left center field.
Kevin Mock working real hard down in front of us, selling those 50-50 tickets.
It's been a pretty big year for 50-50s all throughout. I believe everything's been over $100 at least.
I believe our high was $411. It's the first game of a doubleheader a couple weeks ago.
I believe that was the same one that someone had won both of the...
Was that the night?
I think so.
Yeah, the guy walked away with, well, I think $600.
600 some.
Won both 50-50s.
Lots of activities over here at Wildwood Park. Stuff that you can't really get with our broadcast because we do have our sponsorships that we need to run. It's now Jimmy Jurgensen ready to come in for Sheboygan. Watches one inside. Jurgensen had a pop out to the shortstop.
He hit that soft liner. Looked like it was going to clear him, and then the guy, Lindsay, dropped back and leaped and caught it. See what I did on my scorecard so I'd remember that as I put a little L for line drive. And then if the guy makes it, like we could have put for Riley when he made that diving stop and threw the first, for that little box put a GG, Gold Glove.
See, usually I just go off of memory. It takes me a little bit. I'll look at what I have in mind.
I didn't put down GG. I'm just thinking, it's something you could do.
Definitely good to have reminders of plays that happen. Jimmy not going to get much action in that at bat. Doesn't take the bat off of his shoulders, and it takes a nice walk over to first base to bring up Bennett Becker.
Third walk given up by the Barons pitcher.
Becker, another Sheboygan native on the hometown team. Actually marked as an infielder on our roster, but has mostly played out in left field throughout the year. He's done a very nice job out in left. Count is even up. Jimmy Jurgensen, not the biggest stolen base threat for Sheboygan, but does have some good speed on him for that first base / DH position. But is not going to be taking a terribly big lead off of first, and is going to be able to go. The wild pitch takes a nice bounce, and bit of an odd play. Jurgensen not sliding in, and it might have popped the ball out of the glove.
What I saw was Jimmy saw the ball go back to the screen, so he took off for second, but he didn't look and see what was happening. And he thought he had a clear path to second base, so he didn't slide. And like you said, he almost got thrown out.
Very close play. A nice throw by Hancock. A nice job recovering off of the lucky bounce for Burlington. Not able to capitalize off of it. And Becker swinging for the fences on that one.
That was a good pitch by Clay Heeg.
Like that up and in, but not to the scary part of an up and in. It's just right on the hands, difficult to swing at, or difficult to hit if you swing at it. And that one looks like it brushed Becker off the plate, but still is called in the strike zone. That's one where out here on our view, whether you're in the audience at the park or watching it on stream, seems like that might have not been the best call just because of Becker being brushed off the plate. But
well, I think that's what what the fans see. They see the batter backing out, yet the pitch is probably right on the corner. And umpire's just calling what he sees. Fans see what they see, and it doesn't match up. But to me, it looked like a real nice pitch.
It's one where, a lot of times watching baseball, you'll be a little bit, it's rare that you'll have a game where you're not having some call that you're questioning about the umpire, but always got to respect our umpires out there. Very difficult job, especially for a home plate umpire.
Were you listening to that, CJ? Always respect your umpires. CJ does respect the umpires, Charlie, just not a lot.
Enough not to get thrown out by them. Not yet.
How about as a player? Me either.
Chanel following that one back, gets to a 2-1 count. Don't believe we've seen any players on Sheboygan get ejected as Chanel pops one out into center, but it is caught in short left center field by Lindsay. Not too many Sheboygan players, I believe, have been ejected. Have seen Tim Moyer get ejected before, however.
Yeah, he had to sit out a game for being ejected. Also, I think just the other night, we didn't really see it, but we were told that the second pitcher,
Griffin Klein, I believe it was.
Yeah, Griffin Klein was tossed.
Sometimes can be a little bit easy to get caught in your emotions in baseball. Out on the field of baseball, it can get a little bit lonely out there with a lot of things. A lot of space between different players. So you get caught in your head. But right now, Riley Palmquist hoping to make something happen as he watches one inside.
Be nice to get a 2-out base hit and score a run.
Riley, I'm sure, would enjoy joining that 4-home run club to top the leaderboard for Sheboygan, as does watch one on the outside corner.
Number one job of the catcher, throw the ball back to the pitcher.
Something that have seen Hancock have a little bit of difficulty with in this game has usually resulted to lobbing it back to the pitcher.
I'm waiting for one of the A's to steal a base on that little lob back.
A big swing from Palmquist evens the count at 2-2. I don't think Jimmy's really one of those people that could really fully take advantage of the lob, but someone like Gus Walker, Luke Smock,
right?
Probably even Riley Palmquist. Probably even Riley could take advantage of the lob. 2-2 is fouled back.
Riley had a good swing at that pitch, but like Charlie called, couldn't straighten it out. With 2 outs, Jimmy will be running. Should be able to score on a hit to the outfield.
Riley is someone who can make some very nice contact with the ball. Of course, does have those 3 home runs on the year. And Jimmy with some solid speed over at second. But another one is fouled off and up against the screen.
So, Charlie, I was listening to Murphy speak at that shareholders meeting, and he was going through some of the new rules for the NFL. One of the new rules is you can now wear the number 0. It seemed kind of weird.
That one grounded right into the Sheboygan A's dugout. And Riley kind of giving a little bit of a keeping the rest of the team awake.
Everybody okay over there? Yep, we're all okay.
Do you see the number 0 quite a bit in other sports? Don't think
what
it's
made me think of that was Jackson. As he's running back to give the ball to the umpire, he has the number 0 on his back.
Don't think you see it all too much in baseball, but it is allowed it. Oh, that one.
That might have hit him in the head. Fouled the ball off right into his face.
That one, you hate to see it. Riley, as you said, fouled it off right into his own face. Some nice sportsmanship shown by Burlington, just making sure that everything's all right.
That's scary.
Riley just taking some time. Of course, very scary to have someone down for this long. Very scary to have someone hit in the head.
Bringing some ice out to put on that injury. They have in the past had a trainer here. That young lady in the yellow coming out, maybe a trainer.
He has been down for a while.
Yeah, he's injured pretty bad.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. You serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Why so serious?
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. You serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Why so serious?
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. You serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Why so serious?
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the
And coming back, Riley was able to walk off the field, of course, just hoping that he is all right. Cooper Gussie will be taking his spot in the game.
Resetting action, we have 2-2 count when Gussie steps in. There are 2 outs. Jimmy perched on second. And we're tied, 1-1.
1-1, and Sheboygan needing to not get rattled from this one. The 2-2 count and 2 outs. Going with not much room to wiggle in this bottom of the 4th. Does hit one nice out into left field, but camping under it will be Newman out in left field, and that will end the inning. But a big scare happening. Riley Palmquist going to be taken out of the game, and all we can do is hope that he's all right as we head into the top of the 5th.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support organizations like Hope House Mission and New Hope Shelter that give people around here warmth, shelter, and care.
Me spells the great taste of Sheboygan.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot. Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 4, tea time.
What are you, having tea with the Queen?
Hello.
Nice.
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Heading into the top of the 5th, around the halfway mark of the game, Burlington going to come up to bat. River Lindsay will be starting off the inning. First pitch in is a strike. Cooper Gussie, of course, taking over Palmquist's duties over at second base. Haven't seen him too much this year. Just a few games played. I believe, judging by the stat line, has been mostly in defensive sub or in pinch running relief. 3 games with just 4 plate appearances. Gladys quickly gets to a 2-1 that counts to Lindsay. Now we have the 2-2 count now, and that one will be grounded up the middle. Smock taking a little bit, charging up, and a nice play. Nice reach, but not in time. Smock with a pretty good play on that one, and Neese with a nice stretch over at first base. But Lindsay too quick and is able to reach first base.
That was a really tough play. The runner's pretty fast. Lindsay, and taking that high hop, Charlie, you know, that takes time. You know, you got to reach up and get it and then pull it down and throw it over, and resulted in an infield hit.
So I think also did take just the briefest of moments, making sure that it wasn't over-judging, make sure that he's on the mark. Still just a nice play all around. One of those where fielding can be good, but the hitting, the speed is just a little bit better. It's Tyler Newman. Okay, he ended off the last inning. It's a quick 2-0 count now to the Burlington left fielder. Gladys still pitching pretty well in this game, giving up 3 hits as the only base runners.
Yeah, the thing is, you never like that leadoff man to get on.
If there's anyone who can get out of a jam with the leadoff runner coming aboard, it is Jared Ricklitis, but instead I'd rather have no one, as Lindsay does take off. The throw is high, and no tag going to be made. Lindsay with a pretty easy stolen base on the swing and miss.
And again, the base stealer with a good jump made it very difficult for the catcher to be able to throw him out.
And a nice job by Schnell to keep things in front of him. And that's just one where when you have people who are especially speedy like Lindsay, like Gus Walker, like Jack Council when he was still on the team, you can't really do all too much. Everything has to be pretty perfect in order to get a runner like that out. Now full count to Newman. He swings and misses through that one. Will be out number 1 on the inning to bring up Connor Kelly. Getting that first out with a runner on second now, very important because now you can't get 2 sacrifice flies. In order to score the runner, need to make them hit. Kelly grounded out to Smock to start things off, and that one will be foul tipped.
It looked like Schnell got hit in the leg on that foul ball. You know, you have those shin guards on, but if you get around to the side, there's not a lot of protection. I think that's where Justin took that hit. Got around the padding.
Just getting right back into it. Take a little bit of time to breathe, make sure that you're all right. And back down you go, catcher. Always, I've said this a few times throughout our broadcast, but catcher, probably the most difficult position in all of baseball. Another one is fouled off. Very physically taxing, and really it's someone where you have to be very smart as well, especially if you are taking game calling duties for a pitcher. So Clytus does work to a 0-2 count to the right fielder for Burlington rather. That one ground up. Smock, a nice job grabbing it on a knee, and we'll throw him out over at first. Over on first. The second time that Connor Kelly has been taken out by a ground ball to Luke Smock. That will bring up Ryan Lesnick.
Yeah, back to the top of the order. For the last several weeks, I've always had this bugaboo about when we get to the bottom portion of the order for the opposing team. It always seems to cause us a lot of headaches. And so number 7 hitter now sitting on third base with 2 outs.
Schnell again taking a hit off of a foul ball, I think. Umpire taking a little bit of time. Walk up to the pitcher to get the new ball over there. And I said the bottom of the order has been the thorn in Sheboygan's side of late. Yesterday, the 9 hitter was also their pitcher.
Rex Baer.
Rex Baer, 2 singles as 2 of the only hits on the day. Or had a single and a double, I believe. Scored a run, hit an RBI.
Yeah, he had the RBI hit for one of the runs.
Yesterday, the rain makeup against Menasha.
Yeah, Rex Baer 2 for 2 with an RBI double, and he scored a run, and he was the number 9 hitter.
Now the 0-2 will be grounded up. Nice going to field it and walk it on over to first, and that retires the side. So despite giving up the first batter single, where Clytus is able to get out of things without any harm being done. And so as we move to the bottom of the 5th, set to have Gus Walker leading off.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
At Northwoods, We are a family, and like your family, our main concern is safety. As a leader in the cleaning and sanitation industry, we're doing our utmost to support and supply essential cleaning, sanitizing, and maintenance products to your family and business. And we're introducing new products, like our Cool Water Personal Hand Sanitizer with essential oils. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone affected by COVID-19. At Northwoods, we're protecting you through this pandemic and the next.
Steve Claheig ready to start off his 5th inning of work as Gus Walker will be leading off. Gus Walker, the lone run on the board for Sheboygan, reached on a single, had 2 stolen bases, and the second one featured a throwing error that allowed him to pick up the steal, or to pick up the run.
One thing that Sheboygan has not done well tonight is get base hits. Last night they had 10 in the ball game. Tonight they only have 2. Claheig has pitched really well for the Barons, and well, we got Gus up. He scored our lone run. Maybe he can get us going.
Gus Walker, mentioned this a few times throughout the season as well, was the top average hitter in last year. This year had a pretty big slump, but has turned it around of recent. Of course, the 2 hits in yesterday's game, I believe.
2 hits yesterday with a run scored and a couple of stolen bases.
Something that Gus always does well is those stolen bases, now up to 24, assuming that your couple is actually 2 from the last game.
Oh. 2 yesterday, 2 tonight.
24 stolen bases for the speedy center fielder. Has done a very good job of making every plate appearance count. Every time that he reaches base counts very well for him. And we'll watch that one in for a strikeout. Gus Walker goes down looking. That will bring up Luke Smock.
That was a great pitch. But the only thing Gus could have done with that pitch is try to foul it off, but Claheig put it in a great spot.
As you said, Claheig has done fantastic. Gus Walker striking out, something that has been a bit of an issue around a strikeout per game on the year. However, has still been very good when he is able to get bat on the ball. As Luke Smock will come up now. 1 for 2 on the day, has the other hit. And they led off the game. Nice
6
blue
strikeouts for Steve Claheig.
Smock now on a evened up 1-1 count. Has had some nice plays over at shortstop in today's game. Been pretty active at short. This one has popped up into foul territory, and Zuliger will pick up the pop-out for out number 2. It's now Harry Stout coming on. Walked in his last appearance.
We mentioned earlier that with a win tonight, Sheboygan would end their Wisconsin State League season 15-15. It's been a struggle all year.
Now you watch that first one in for a strike. Wisconsin State League, a little bit weird with how their tournament works, especially because there are 2 Illinois teams in the Wisconsin State League. They are excluded from the state tournament.
Wisconsin State Tournament?
Wisconsin, yeah.
So they will not participate in the stepladder playoffs.
They're now participating Green Bay in a different qualifier for the tournament. Meanwhile, West Allis, the champions of last year, they're automatically in the tournament as Harry swings through that one.
Clay changing speeds on that last pitch had Harry fooled.
Harry quickly down 1-2. But he is someone who can fight off very well on those 2 strike counts. As he does look at one outside. No chance on that pitch. Two and Harry, nice fouled back.
Trying to sneak that fastball past Harry, but he was able to fight it off. Good piece of hitting.
Now another 2-2 pitch coming in from Clay, and that one, Harry goes down swinging. A nice work on that one, and it's some good work by Steve Clay in order to shut down the Sheboygan lineup for yet another inning. As we go into the top of the 6th, the score is still tied 1-1.
Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract, brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow, raised by generations, willing to sip, share, risk, remember. This is a story bigger than beer. This is the story of the American spirit.
All right, guys, we got teriyaki, honey barbecue, and mild. Enjoy. All right, DOA wings, hottest on the menu.
You got a problem?
Coming into the top of the 6th inning, Jared Reclitus still pitching very well on this game as Burlington ready to come up with their 2-hitter, Nick Aid. Follows the first one back. Reclitus has pitched very well in this game, under 70 pitches through these first 5 innings.
Charlie, we got a trivia question for our fans tonight. Here's the question. Who has the most triples in a game with 3? Is it Charlie Cometer? I played with Charlie. Al Albert or Gene Mand?
We'll try to actually remember to get the...
Before the end of the inning.
A lot of times we have it where we'll remember between innings. Never gave out the answer. It's what happened.
Well, at least you remembered last night. A little late.
Yeah.
But Lucas didn't even remember. Yeah.
And the strikeout in the dirt swung through, and it will be a putout for Nick Aid going down swinging.
Yeah, he's a good guy to get out, and Zuliger, he's dangerous too. Who has the most triples in a game? Cometer, Albert, or Mand?
We'll try
Actually,
to remember
I should
after
preface, I mentioned I played with Charlie Cometer. We actually graduated high school together, but he went to South. But I also played with Gene Mand. And with Al Albert, I umpired for him.
Ooh.
So I know all 3 guys. Although Charlie is deceased now for a few years.
The nice curveball will be outside for ball number 2 as Gladys still working well into this game. Zuliger, of course, did have that big shot out to left center field. And another one out to left field will drop. Zuliger looking to have another round of extra bases. Becker getting to the ball quickly. And a nice throw in, but will not be in time. Zuliger with 2 doubles on the day.
He's a dangerous hitter.
someone who, of course, as we've mentioned before, a lot of times we do have that bottom of the order is the big problem, but when you have someone in that 3 or 4 hitter, you kind of expect them to be hitting well. So Zuliger, at least Verkleitis can maybe take a little bit in knowing that it has been where you expect them to hit well, that has been hitting well.
We're in the 6th inning, and the Barons scored in the 4th, but you take those other 3 innings, the Barons have threatened in 3 of those. 3 of those 5 innings. They're threatening right now. Verkleitis able to work out of it last inning. In the 5th, they had a runner on, and back in the 3rd. Of course, he gave up the run in the 4th.
Have been able to get runners in. Burlington has been able to get runners in scoring position each of these last 4 innings, including this one. 3rd inning did have River Lindsay reach on an error and I believe steal a base. No, he stole the base at the 2nd one. And a big swing through by Archambault.
Good fastball by Verkleitis. He's still got pop on the fastball, that's for sure.
Clyde is someone that, even if you do have a runner in scoring position, is not someone that Burlington can take lightly, not someone that it is easy to get a big advantage of. And that one is fouled off and brushing off E.J. Custer out on deck.
Just missed him. Put a lot of pressure on your pitcher when you get runners in scoring position, and Verkleitis having to deal with it again.
The 1-2 pitch coming in for Verkleitis, and will be low, and it gets away from Schnell. That one will be a passed ball. I think we're saying passed ball. I'm sure CJ wouldn't agree, but
well, 2-2 count, Charlie. Let's get a strikeout here, and then we can get that last out.
Infield moves in, and that one check swing, not able to hold back, and Archambault knew it right away that he wasn't able to hold back. And just like you wanted, do get that strikeout to bring up E.J. Custer. Custer woken up by that foul shot and now has the chance at the plate to do something for Burlington as the first pitch from Verkleitis is in there.
We have not heard any word regarding Riley Palmquist. He was near the A's dugout after the incident where he fouled the ball up into his face. And he's no longer there, but we don't know what his status is. And if we do find out anything, we'll let our fans know.
Of course, right now, until we have that information, we just got to hope that he is all right, recovering well. Doing well, but Verkleitis working on to an 0-2 count and gets him to swing and miss. E.J. Custer goes down. So despite another double from Joe Zuliger, Jared Verkleitis is able to get 3 strikeouts in the inning, and that brings it up to Sheboygan at bat.
Estimated hold time is now less than 96 minutes. We thank you for your patience.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
Bottom of the sixth. Score is still tied at 1-1 as the heart of Sheboygan's order ready to come up. Brady Zackerson, Jacob Neese, and Jimmy Jurgensen.
Charlie, do you have a perfect driving record? That was one of the questions they asked Flynn in the rapid fire questions. You do not, and Lucas does.
He's still early on.
I have a perfect driving record today.
You know what, speaking of questions, you know what we forgot last inning?
Oh!
I realized that right as you mentioned one of the questions for the rapid fire ones.
All right, so our question was, who has the most triples in a game with 3? Charlie Kometer, Al Albert, or Gene Mand? The answer is Gene Mand. Now, Gino is not really a very fast runner, but he could hit the ball.
Triple, always one of the most difficult plays in baseball because you can't just rely on it going over the fence to get that counting stat. As Brady Zackerson ready to come in. Brady with 3 triples of his own, though not in the same game.
Still stuck on 3 triples and 3 home runs. He's been piling up on the doubles, though, every now and then. Was he got 14 now?
Don't remember if he had any yesterday.
He did have one yesterday.
And 13.
Okay, 13.
Had 12 coming into yesterday's game.
So 13 doubles. That's a healthy amount.
That one is skied well into the air. Got under it and running in and misplaying it. That one popped up and the throw is off, and Sheboygan getting away with that one.
2 errors on that play. We're going to give an error on the left fielder for missing the fly ball, and then the left fielder is going to get another error for throwing the ball away. And good for Sheboygan. They got a lead run on second base with nobody out. Bill, 2 errors.
And Brady really lucking out on that one. Right as he popped it up, he thought that it was just going to be an easy fly ball, and most of the time, that pop-up is pretty easy, but sometimes baseball, you could just lose track of it, you misread it, ends up hurting you. Quick 0-1 count now to Neese. And a nice job blocking it behind the plate by Hancock.
That was rambling. We need a clutch hit, Charlie. Let's get the lead.
And he's watching the 1-1 and swinging through a nice outside pitch by Clayheeg. Neese settling in for that 1-2 count. Brady on second. Some good speed over on second. A hit to the outfield could score him as that one goes high.
It's been a really nice pitching battle here tonight between Reclitus and Clayheeg.
It's not often that you'll see someone who is on par in a pitching performance with Reclitus. Clayheeg has done that very well, as Neese swings and tips it into the glove for a strikeout.
That's a good point, Charlie, because the times that we've seen Jared pitch, he's pretty much a shutdown kind of guy, and the other team's pitchers aren't of that quality, and therefore we can score some runs, but not the case so far tonight.
A lot of time the problem with Sheboygan has been runners left on base, but this game just not many runners in general. Now, first pitch to Jurgensen will be swung through.
Yes.
Jimmy 0 for 1 on the day. Had a liner robbed from him back in the second inning. That one, not a very good pitch. Jimmy wants that one back. It is quickly into an 0-2 count.
Oh, wow. Hang in there, Jimmy.
And another one. Clayheeg working well in this game. Jimmy Jurgensen goes down swinging to bring up Bennett Becker.
You know, we talked in the last half inning with Jared, and he still had good pop on his fastball. We just saw it right there from Clayheeg.
Clayheeg done it very well in this game so far. It's Bennett Becker ready to come up to bat. Has a stolen base and a walk on the 0-1 performance for the Sheboygan left fielder. Clayheeg settling in. 1-0 count to Becker will be another pitch high. And the throw from the catcher gets away a little bit, but some quick reactions by the Burlington defense prevents Zackerson from moving any further, as Becker hoping to get a RBI opportunity right now.
Second baseman was sneaking in, trying to drive the runner back.
There's a lot of movement going on between that middle infield.
Well, Charlie, what do you think? He's got a 3-0 pitch coming up. You know, he's got a 3-0 count, I mean. Would you let him swing at this pitch or hope for a walk?
It's one where I think you kind of need the runs at this point, but not agreed. So we'll just watch that one go through.
Clayheeg now with 101 pitches.
Still has had some very good command and very good speed on his pitches. That one fouled back to quickly make it a full count. Becker looking for RBI number 16 on the year. Now with the full count, 3-2 pitch. It's hit up into, it's popped up just outside of the infield and will be caught by Zuliger. So despite getting 2 runs on the 2 bases on the very first at bat, Sheboygan not able to come up with any runs, and we head into the top of the 7th with a even score at 1-1.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier factory authorized dealer.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Denny just gave away the 50-50 for this ball game, $324. And on a unrelated note, with runners in scoring position, the A's are 0 for 9 in the ball game.
Burlington has been able to shut down the Sheboygan offense with those runners in scoring position, but Sheboygan has also done a good job of shutting down Burlington with similar situation as that one, is grounded up. Smock going to field, and nice throw across the diamond. Gets the out to begin the inning. As you mentioned, Denny Moyer reading off the 50-50 raffle amount. Was going to do an interview, but took some time to help out Riley Palmquist. Not going to be able to do that.
The way Clahig's defense started that sixth inning, it looked like Sheboygan was going to get a run, but he really responded well, striking out the next two A's and then getting Bennett Becker to pop up.
River Lindsay now up to bat for Burlington. Has done pretty well on the day on both sides of the field. 1 for 2 with a stolen base. Reached on air in his first plate appearance. Of course, on defense, did mainly have that nice leaping grab to Rob Jurgensen of a hit. And earlier on in the game, we had a fouled off ground ball to the Sheboygan A's dugout. Now Burlington doing the same.
What's nice, I guess, you don't think you're picking on your opponent, is the Sheboygan batter hit it in the Sheboygan dugout, and the Burlington player hit it in the Burlington dugout. So they're picking on their own teammates.
It's just, keeping the energy up. You're not going to allow anyone to be sleeping with those kind of hits. And River Lindsay going to be set down, sleeping and swinging on that one. Strikes out to get the second out as Tyler Newman will now come up. Newman 0 for 2 on the day himself.
How many pitches with Recollaitis? 89 pitches.
89 pitches, 11 strikeouts.
At this point in the game last night, Recollaitis, I think, had over 100 pitches. Ryan Flish.
I think Ryan Flish had 100 by the 5th inning.
I think you're right, actually.
But right there, strikeout number 12 for Jared Recollaitis takes out Tyler Newman, and another 1-2-3 inning for Sheboygan to bring us to the 7th inning stretch.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. Serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious.
Why so serious?
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Couple innings late, Denny, but nice to have you up here in the press box. First question is Riley Palmquist. How's he doing?
Well, he's hurt. He took a foul ball off the eye socket on the right side of his eye.
Okay.
The big lump. The medical person down there said that he didn't think it was a skull fracture or anything, so hopefully he's all right.
Okay, well, that's good. He's able to walk off the field, which was a good sign, too. You wanted to come up and talk a little bit about the status of the team now, and why don't you do that?
The thing is, we got to win this game tonight so we qualify for the tournament, which will be next week. So we gotta get some runs here. We're a little bit uptight, Marty. We're missing some people. We got a couple guys hurt, a couple guys in jobs, a couple guys on vacation. This last couple of weeks has been. It's a good thing we got some depth. You know?
One thing we talked about is when we've seen Jared pitch here at home, the opposing pitcher usually isn't as strong as Clayheeg has been tonight.
Yeah, he's a
this
good
is
pitcher.
Quite a pitcher's battle.
He really is. That could be trouble right at him. Fly ball
Justin
to left.
Schnell flies out to left for the first out in the bottom of the 7th. That's going to bring up Cooper Gussie, who came in for Riley Palmquist. A lot of changes on the team, Denny. Personnel changes, I mean.
Adding people. Tim's, I don't know if I've ever had a year where a manager's worked harder than Tim has this year. Just getting people lined up and getting the games going. We've had people hurt, and we've had people missing, had people working, guys on vacation, wrong times and stuff.
What's up with Flynn? I saw him do the rapid-fire questions. I haven't seen him in a game in weeks.
He got hurt, too. What the heck did he do? I think it was his ankle or something. But he's out, too. He got hurt, too. So
I was talking with Rick Rice the other day about how it was when we played, and for the most part, I mean, when we started the season, that was our team.
Yeah.
You know, there weren't a lot of changes throughout the course of a season back then. I mean, you're talking in the 60s and 70s. That's all changed now.
Yeah. We started with 5 really quality pitchers, you know, Rindfleisch and Recklitis and Schmitz, and we had Blake Coons in there and Noah Emery. We lost Coons right away, went to the Northwoods League. And we had Council here with us. He was a good player. I don't know if you saw him enough to know that, but he really is a good player. And he went to the Northwoods League. Then we got the kid from UWM, Hansen. He went to the Northwoods League. So they keep stealing our guys, and Tim is really putting things together here. It's kind of amazing we're still in their hunt after losing all our number 1 guys.
So up here in the press box, we were under the impression that we were going to be playing on Tuesday. Just a matter of who. Getting hit by that pitch was Cooper Gussie, so he'll trot down to first. 1 out in the 7th with a runner on, and that's going to bring up Gus Walker. So anyway, you know, what is the status on that? I heard we were going to be playing on Tuesday.
Well, that would be the first game of the tournament if we qualify. See, it's a stepladder tournament.
No, I understand that, but I thought we had qualified, I guess is what I'm saying.
It's not up there in the standings. We're 500. There's 3 teams ahead of us or 4 teams ahead of us.
Right.
So we got to beat Burlington tonight to knock them behind us. That'll be a long week staying home.
Well, no kidding. We have 4 games coming up this weekend. The Cloud on Saturday and the Warriors, both teams from Chicago, on Sunday.
That'll be a test.
What does Tim do with those games? I mean,
yeah. Well, that's a game where we're going to get a lot of people in. A lot of people are going to play. A lot of pitchers are going to get innings. We need to do that too. These kids want to play, you know. And they're not that bad. They're not that they're bad players. They're just not in the front line.
Right.
We need Gus to hit one here.
You think Gus is hurt? I mean, how do you hit 390 last year, and he's scraping away to try and hit 200 this year?
It's bad a little higher this year. He's having some problems getting the bat through there on time. I think. I don't know. We need him right here, though. We got to get something going.
What really was a shame was early in the year he had that grand slam home run, and we also wound up losing the game.
Right. We can get him on base. He's dangerous. You know, he runs like a deer.
Man, he's just like Molitor was with the Brewers years ago. The Igniter.
Remember that? Yeah.
0-2 pitches up a little bit, and that makes it 1-2. Over at first base is Cooper Gussie. 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 7th of a tie game. Denny Moyer joining us up here in the press box. How's Eric Schmitz doing? I know he was in that.
He's going to be pitching. He's going to try it again.
Before the end of the season?
Yeah, he's going to tomorrow, I think, or Tuesday. I think he's going to try it tomorrow.
Okay, good.
I don't think we get much out of him. I don't think we get more than 3-4 innings, but he wants to give it a go.
Right.
And we missed him all year too, or last 4 weeks anyway.
His wife took the brunt of that accident. Boy, she thinks she said broke her arm in 3 different places.
Yeah. That could have been a lot worse. The baby in the car and everything.
Smock is up with 2 outs. Gussie still on first. Denny, any other changes before we wrap up the season?
In the roster?
Personnel-wise.
Not that we're looking at. Oh, jeez.
River Lindsay's play across the infield is in time, and that ends the 7th.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
Back at Wildwood Park, getting ready to start 8th inning action. Jared Recolaitis has thrown 91 pitches so far, Denny. Last night, Brad Reinflesch was up over like a 130 or so.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing how he's able to continue to pitch at that number of pitches.
He's a real bulldog, that guy. He just he's after Tommy Eckert's strikeout record. That's his goal this year. He needs like 4 more or something.
Only 4 more?
Yeah, he's got 120 strikes or something like that.
So he had 119 coming in last night, and he struck out 16, so he's at 135 right now.
I don't know what the record is.
Brad Reinflesch. Yeah, that book is over on this other table.
I'll have to look it up.
You know, that's the other thing that's hurt. They're getting runners on base. Base hit by Kelly, his first hit of the game. And that takes us to the top of the order with Ryan Lesnick. Lesnick is 0 for 3.
He's a good player, this Lesnick kid. He was at Lakeland College.
The other guy that's really been hitting the ball is Zuliger.
Yeah, he's a good one, too.
Was he their manager for a while?
I don't think so.
Okay.
He's a good player, though, for a lot of years.
Sacrifice bunt moves the runner over to second base. You don't see that very often.
Don't see it often enough as far as I'm concerned.
The problem is, you want your guys to bunt. They never bunt, so an effort in futility. Any plans for the off season?
Well, we got to get some solder on the pitcher's mound. That's too big a circle out there. We're going to fix that up. That's about the only thing we're doing in the ballpark, I think.
Okay.
So, and solder along the baseline, I guess, too. Filling some of that stuff in. But
Well, field looks good
Field looks
for the
pretty
most
good.
part. I mean,
Tim is upset about the lips around in front of the.
we've noticed the last couple games, those ground balls that go out to shortstop especially, boy, they take that big hop at the end. I thought we got those lips out of there during the off season.
Keep coming back. Well, the problem, I think we're dragging it too close to the dirt,
I know whenever you drag it, the dirt spills off this little screen and it dumps onto the grass, and that's what creates the lip. 1-1 is the count. Nick Aid, 1 for 3 in the ball game and scored a run. But the more dangerous guy is waiting on deck, Zuliger.
Anyway, we're kind of 50-50 this year, so it sounds like
Is,
sour grapes, but this state league is really good this year.
Oh, yeah. Is Ian Mary hurt tonight?
I don't think so.
I thought he'd be in the lineup with hitting that home run last night and not starting tonight.
Who is DHing tonight? Who's he got in the DH spot?
He's not DHing tonight. Our DH tonight is Jimmy Jurgensen. Nice is over at first. Recolaitis had 100 pitches. 3-2 pitch coming up. We have 1 out. We're in the top of the 8th inning of a tie game.
Let's see the slider, Rick. Let's get this guy. There it is.
Hey.
This slider's
How'd you know that, Denny?
I didn't know that. Just a guess. He's got a great slider. Really something.
Well, what are they talking to? What are you talking about now with Tim coming out to the mound?
Is this Zuliger hitting? They might just walk him.
Maybe Zuliger would be a good guy to intentionally walk and pitch to Archambault, who struck out the last 2 times.
Archambault's a veteran. He's about 40 years old now. He's been playing a long time, so I don't know if you want to pitch to him either.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Oh,
what I
they're
said.
walking him. So Zuliger gets the intentional walk, puts runners on first and second with 2 outs, and Paul Archambault is up.
He's been around a long time. He's a good player. Been beating a lot of teams with him. This Burlington's a good outfit. They're not a bad team at all.
They're having trouble getting players to just play the games. When we look at them tonight, they, like you said, they don't look like a 7-20 team.
No, they sure don't.
7-21, I think they are actually. In the state league, anyway.
Anybody can beat anybody in this league.
Right. 2 quick pitches by Recolaitis puts Archambault in the hole at 0-2.
Now throw the fastball outside and then come back with a slider again.
Hey, snuck the fastball by him, and that ends the threat by Burlington. When we head to the bottom of the 8th, Sheboygan will have Harry Stelt, Brady Zackerson, and Jacob Nies up.
Marty, thanks.
Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract, brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow, raised by generations, willing to sip, share, risk, remember. This is a story bigger than beer. This is the story of the American spirit.
All right, guys, we got teriyaki, honey barbecue, and mild. Enjoy. All right, DOA wings, hottest on the menu.
You got a problem?
Ready for the bottom of the 8th. A nice interview with Denny Moyer taking place in the past 2 frames. Right now, Harry Stelt ready to lead things off for Sheboygan, with Brady Zackerson and Jacob Neese following suit.
We were talking during the break, and Charlie said, boy, wouldn't it be nice if we could just get a home run here? Well, Harry had one last night. Maybe he can do it again.
I don't remember how many he had last year, but Harry usually does have a pretty good power stroke.
Yeah, we got 10,000 papers on our desk here. I've got it somewhere, but I'm not going to go try and dig it out.
I mean, beginning of the year, we had the last year's stats because that was a good way to...
They're in there. They're in one of the folders. I don't think he had 10, but he was probably up near 8 or 9, somewhere in that neighborhood. The season before that, he did have double-digit home runs.
So Harry, usually a power hitter, always a very good contact hitter as well. Very good guy at getting on base. Let's watch the 1-1 pitch in there.
The next pitch that is thrown will be pitch number 120 by Steve Clayheeg.
Clayheeg and Ricklitis both getting into the triple digits for their pitches and still not really slowing down for either of them.
No, you're right there. Ricklitis is at 104.
Now Harry coming in with the 2-1 and will be well outside. Harry Stelt started off the year as the 3-hitter, I believe, moved up to the number 2 spot. With his performance this year, I can definitely see why. You get the nice contact guy, nice on-base guy, and right away showing off what that top of the order pedigree can do, getting on base with the walk.
In the last half inning, when Burlington got their leadoff hitter on, they bunted him over to second. Thank goodness they didn't score, but it'll be interesting to see what Sheboygan does with Brady. Nobody out in the bottom of the 8th. Let's see what Tim Moyer does here, Charlie.
Now with Harry being the runner on first, don't really see a sacrifice bunt being the main play, but Brady, definitely a top-tier hitter, can be someone who can easily drive people over.
Custer, even with the bag over at third base, they're expecting a bunt.
Custer even with the bag, Zuliger holding Harry over at second. Meanwhile, the middle infielders right up the middle, ready to ground a double play, but Brady swings to that one for strike 2.
You know, people might say, well, why isn't he bunting him over? Well, you got arguably your best hitter up, most power.
Most power, most average as well.
Yeah.
And he swings through that one. And Brady Zackerson down on strikes for the second time today. And that will bring up Jacob Neese. Neese, he's shown off some good power in the pregame batting practice in the past few days, but of course batting practice very different from the game situation.
That was strikeout number 10 for Clayheeg.
And really the big thing for Sheboygan in a lot of games has been leaving a lot of runners on base. This game, only 4 left on base up to this point, so the problem has been not getting runners on base in the first place.
Yeah, right. Hard to win a game when you only got 2 hits. And the run we did get was in a weird kind of way with the 2 stolen bases, and then on the steal a third, the catcher throws it out in left field.
Clegg only 3 walks, as well as that one is lined, but foul. Had the distance to go yard, but not
that
straight
wasn't
enough.
going to go yard if it stays fair, but it certainly sounded nice.
But instead just goes as a loud foul ball for the 1-2 count to the Northwoods cleanup hitter. Pi Hancock still throwing those lobs in there, but Harry definitely not the kind of runner that could take advantage of that. Taking advantage of catcher throws, not something you see too much, but now 2-2 pitch coming in and will be well outside. Nice job stopping it by Hancock. Nice
3-2 count. Nice needs to be ready for the fastball.
Fighting to get that 3-2 and swinging through that one. Takes him out for number 11, and that will bring up Jimmy Jurgensen.
Well, we've seen Jimmy hit the big fly. Tied on the team lead with 4, right?
Yep. And Jimmy part of the 4 home run club alongside Jacob Neese. First, and I believe we only have just 2 people at 3. Actually, well, let me just double check what Mary has for. Okay, yep. So part of that, there's 3 home runs in second place with Palmquist and Zackerson. But Jimmy quickly up on the count, and we'll watch a second one.
We haven't talked about this in a while, but this season is so much different than last year. And just in terms of the hitting aspect, the team last year averaged .313, and I mean, up and down the lineup, the guys are just hitting the ball, and it's just not like that this year.
That's right. Well, last year, over 300s, team batting average fantastic, especially over the course of a whole season. This year, a .257 average, which is still very respectable, but just compared to the year before where you do have that 300.
You get spoiled.
And Jimmy will take a base there to bring up Bennett Becker.
Becker has the ability to hit the ball. I think it would take an extra base hit, however, to get Harry home.
Sheboygan still a good team at getting on base, as well a .357 on base percentage. Coming to the game, drawing a lot of walks. So even people who haven't been perhaps hitting to their standards have still been able to get on base. First pitch swung through by Becker. Becker 0 for 2 on the day so far.
135 pitches for Clay Heeg.
Something that definitely is commendable for Burlington. And they're a very short-staffed team a lot of the time. Only one person on their bench, which is their manager. And so Clay Heeg having to pitch the full game and has been doing a very good job at that. Now 1-1 count, ready to up to Becker. Going and swung through again. Nice fastball there.
Yeah, he's getting some good rips at those pitches, but he just can't make contact.
Now 1-2. And that one high. Have seen the team not really take too many times where they've backed off the plate. Think maybe could just be baseball superstition. They already had a couple times where they've been backed off the plate and it's been called a strike. Now the 2-2 pitch, and that one is popped up high into the air, but ranging over is Aid, and he'll grab that one for out number 3. So despite 2 base runners in the inning, Sheboygan is still held quiet And we head into the top of the ninth, still at a 1-1 score.
Estimated hold time is now less than 96 minutes. We thank you for your patience.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
Coming into the top of the ninth, Burlington still tied up with Sheboygan at 1 apiece. Paul Archambault ready to lead off the inning for the Barons and will take one in for a strike. A very strong pitching performance for both teams. Another one in there for strike Burlington, 1 run on 5 hits. With 3 errors, Sheboygan 1 run on 2 hits and 1 error. That one hit well out into right field. Zackerson going to be ranging over, and while it was deep, not a problem for the right fielder. And that takes out the first batter of the inning to bring up E.J. Custer.
I think Hancock is the hitter, Charlie. Custer just flew out.
I missed someone.
You may have.
Yes, it looks like
Archambault struck out to end the 8th inning.
I think I missed the Zuliger at bat on my scoring sheet. That one is fouled off.
Got it?
We'll work that later.
Hancock is 0 for 3 in the game. Hopefully we can keep him on off base. You know, we're getting into the danger zone, though, Charlie. We're getting to the bottom half of their order.
Really has been the big problem with Sheboygan, has been the bottom of the order for a lot of teams, but that one will not be a problem there, just on that outside corner. And Reclitus getting yet another strikeout on the board.
I got him for 15 Ks.
Is also what I have. This River Lindsay will not strike out on that one. Instead, we'll just get a nice bloop single out into center. Gus Walker going to play it safe. Now there is a fast runner on first base. Lindsay already with a stolen base on the day. That will bring up Tyler Newman.
That's 6 hits for Burlington. Their line score is 1 run, 6 hits, and 3 errors. We're 1, 2, and 1.
Newman swing, big hearty swing through that first pitch.
You wanted to hit that one a long ways.
So despite being over the 100 pitch mark, both pitchers still doing very well in this game. And that one.
No. That's a pass ball.
CJ, any complaints about that one being a pass ball?
Now, again, they have runners in scoring position. You put a lot of pressure on your pitcher.
0-2 count now to the left fielder for Burlington. He does swing through and misses. And that will end the inning. And so we head into the bottom of the ninth. Sheboygan would have to win this in walk-off fashion heading into the end of regulation.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier Factory authorized dealer.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
And now Justin Schnell will be leading off the bottom of the ninth inning. Schnell, Gussie, and Walker set to be the hitters for this end of regulation inning. And Sheboygan, their offense has been very quiet today. Steve Clayheeg has done a very good job at holding the Sheboygan defense to be quiet. Just 2 hits on the day. Luke Smock with a single back in the first, and Gus Walker with a single in the third.
Things look good at the beginning of the game. Charlie got a Smock with that leadoff single to start the bottom of the first, and got a hit in the second inning. Or no, that was the third inning, and we haven't done anything since then.
Been able to get a base runner on in all of those innings, save for the fifth. Just has not been able to get anything further.
Our best opportunities is when Clayheeg would walk some of our guys, or that inning when we started off with a drop fly ball and a bad throw after that to put the runner on second base.
Now we're going to watch one high. Of course, any time in baseball, the home run usually the most exciting play, aside from the triple play. Triple plays, home runs close there. And the walk-off home run is especially something you want to see. As Schnell wanting to end things with one swing of the bat, calming himself down as he leaves the batter's box. Schnell does have a home run on the year. That one
looked pretty good, didn't it?
Yeah, I thought that was. Curveball late in the day. Must have just been maybe a little bit outside. Through one, and Schnell solidly hit, but foul.
Yeah, Justin caught up to that pitch.
He's making some very good contact with the ball, but did it go foul? Now the full count pitch, and Justin Schnell will be on board to start off the inning, as that will now bring up Cooper Gussie.
Gussie coming up to bat. Schnell with good speed. You're not going to, get a pinch runner for him. See if Cooper bunts him over.
Bunt is squared up. I think they said that he might have
Well, I don't think he offered. I think it was just a called strike. But I don't know. That didn't look
very
very
close.
Good. Well,
that one's not sure of whether that was offered bunt or just clipping the outside of the zone, but regardless, is still called a strike. Guess he's going to square up to bunt again. That one does pull back for a ball. Gussie mentioned this when he first came in. Haven't seen him too much in the season, just making his 4th appearance on
I tell you,
the
those
year.
corner defenders for Burlington were right up there, looking for that bunt, trying to get the force at second.
Bunt is still offered at, and it will go down. And they say that it is fair, and the throw goes wild regardless. And Burlington just about had everything fall into their lap, and they throw it away.
That was Hancock with the bad throw, make it an E2, allowing Schnell to advance all the way to third.
And that one, a good throw, might get a double play because Gussie thought that was going to be a foul ball.
Catcher made a good play, jumped out in front of home plate. The umpire was right there, called it fair. It should have been an advantage for Burlington. You know, you throw the runner out at second, and it wouldn't even been close. Be interesting to see what Burlington's going to do now.
That really was just a matter of awareness. The Hancock, again, was very aggressive on getting there. He got to it quickly. And credit to Schnell, he was also off right away. But then ended up just being an errant throw. As now Gus Walker will be ready to come in.
One of the possibilities for Burlington is Gus Walker, load the bases. Now you got to force out at any base. You don't have to tag the runner, just step on the base.
And more importantly, get that force out at home.
And they're talking to the outfielders. You want to move them in. We mentioned that Schnell's got good speed. He's on at third.
Really just a good decision for Burlington to bring that outfield in. They're playing deep and something gets hit deep. It's a run regardless. So instead, just make sure that you can get any outs possible. So a difficult position and an interesting position, and Gussie gets a free base. No issues whatsoever. Gussie taking advantage of the defensive shift.
Defensive indifference, no stolen base. That's what I'm going to give him. Come on, Gus.
Still offering bunt, and that one, a nice job from Hancock to keep it in front of him and keep that wild pitch. Burlington has already had some luck with a wild pitch bouncing right back. Right now, runners on second and third. Gus Walker.
Clay having trouble throwing strikes when the batter squares around.
And is not going to square around on that one. We'll take ball 3.
150 pitches now for Steve Clay.
And Clay, I think, still having a little bit of confidence. Looked like manager Bunton was ready to come out. And will be a free base. And now, while not an intentional walk, still do end up loading the bases.
I think that's a better play anyhow. Like I mentioned before about the force outs. Now it's up to Smock to get the ball through the infield. The manager cannot cross the line, Charlie. If he does, then they got to take Clay out. Because he already visited the mound once this inning.
And very interesting shift on this one. Absolutely nothing in the infield.
Center fielder is playing in front of the second base bag. They're only playing with 2 outfielders. That's an old Joe Madden move when he was managing for the Cubs.
This is
bring 5 infielders in.
This is one of those. Sometimes baseball can just be weird like this, where you have things like 5 infielders at a time. Effectively 5 infielders.
All the infielders are up on the grass.
Now on a pitch high.
Thought that was a good take on the first pitch by Smock, making Clay throw a strike.
Now with the 1-1 count, Burlington just trying to prevent anything that they can. Now the 2-1 count.
Schnell not taking a real big lead over at third, going about as far as the third baseman.
Yeah, now looks like third baseman Custer. And that one will be in, and that is a walk-off. Luke Smock. Not very much time on the team, but a very big impact. And there goes the water. Luke Smock with the walk-off single. And that is your ball game. A pitcher's duel to the very end. Sheboygan just eking out with the 2-1 win in walk-off fashion, thanks to the UWM Indiana native. And so your final line score of the game, Burlington, 1 run on 6 hits with 4 errors, while Sheboygan 2 runs on 3 hits, and one of those hits being the walk-off single itself, and only 1 error given up. It's a very strong performance by the A's all around. Jared Reclitus picking up your complete game win. And Burlington, despite a very good performance by Steve Claheig, will come up with the loss. And so with this, our next broadcast will be on Thursday as we take on Kewaskum to end off the Northeastern Wisconsin League. And so, with Mike Martin, I'm Charlie Heim. I'm saying, until that next game, we'll see you down the road.